The screen door slammed shut behind him like the final punctuation on a life sentence. The echo ripping through the empty hallway of the old Hale farmhouse in Willow Creek, Vermont. Dust motes danced in the slanted afternoon light, undisturbed for months since his mother's quiet passing. And Christian Hale, though he had not gone by that name in 15 years, stood frozen, a ghost in his own skin, inhaling the faint scent of pine floors and forgotten lavender sachets that clawed at memories he had buried deep. His hand trembled on the doorknob, the weight of the inheritance papers in his pocket feeling like chains, until a small voice cracked from the kitchen, soft and certain. "Chris, is that you? Coming home at last?" Christian's breath caught, a ragged hitch in the silence, as if the house itself had exhaled after holding its lungs too long. He had driven 12 hours from the concrete canyons of Brooklyn, the skyline shrinking in his rearview like a bad dream he could finally outrun. But Willow Creek pulled him back with the gravity of unfinished sentences. The farmhouse loomed on the edge of town, its white clapboard siding peeling like old regrets under the October sky, maples shedding crimson leaves that crunched under his tires like brittle bones. He was here to sign the papers, to sever the last tie to a place that had spat him out at 17, kicked to the curb by a father who couldn't stomach a son with those inclinations, as he'd called them, voice slurred with whiskey and Bible verses. Christian had reinvented himself as Cole Rivera in New York, a graphic designer scraping by in lofts and late-night bars, chasing anonymity in a city that didn't care who you loved as long as you paid the rent. But now, with both parents gone, Dad to a heart attack 3 years back, Mom to the slow erosion of cancer, Lily, his little sister, had called. Not pleading, just stating facts. The house needed selling, the debts mounting, and she couldn't do it alone. He had agreed to come as Cole, a distant cousin hired to handle the logistics, his voice disguised over the phone with a fabricated drawl. Lies had become his armor, but they chafed now, raw against the boy he used to be. He stepped further into the foyer, boots scuffing the faded Persian rug that had once muffled their childhood footsteps. The walls whispered with ghosts, framed photos of a family that no longer existed, him and Lily grinning gap-toothed at the county fair, Dad's stern profile by the woodpile, Mom's soft smile in the garden. Christian's chest tightened, a vice of grief and something sharper, shame, maybe, for staying away so long. Lily was 25 now, a far cry from the pigtailed kid who had trailed him like a shadow, defending him to neighborhood bullies with fists smaller than her heart. She had texted coordinates, a key under the mat, and instructions to meet her at noon. It was 10 past, and the kitchen light spilled golden across the threshold, pulling him forward like a siren's call. There she was, perched on a stool at the scarred oak island, her back to him as she stirred sugar into a mug of tea that had long gone cold. Lily's hair had grown out, a cascade of chestnut waves tied loosely, and she wore an oversized flannel shirt over leggings, the kind that screamed small-town comfort. She hummed an old tune, something from their mom's vinyl collection, Fleetwood Mac's Landslide, and the notes twisted in Christian's gut like a knife. He cleared his throat, forcing the alias through gritted teeth. "Miss Hale, I'm Cole Rivera. You said to come by for the paperwork." She turned slowly, her green eyes mirror images of his own, widening just a fraction before settling into polite curiosity. Close. The years had etched fine lines around her mouth, Laugh lines maybe, or worry creases from carrying the family alone. Oh, right. Cole. Thanks for driving out here. It's a mess, isn't it? She gestured vaguely at the stacks of yellow documents on the counter, bills and deeds mingling with faded recipe cards. Her voice was steady, but there was a tremor beneath, like a branch bending before the wind snaps it. Christian nodded, sliding onto the opposite stool, keeping the island between them like a barrier. He pulled out a folder from his messenger bag, the leather worn soft from city commutes, and spread the forms. We can go over the basics. Market values low this time of year, but with some staging. His words trailed off as she leaned in, studying his hands, the calluses from freelance sketches, the silver ring on his thumb that he twisted absently. A habit from nerves, one she might remember. Lily's gaze flicked up, locking on his. You sound familiar. Have we met before? Like, at a family thing or something? His pulse hammered, a drumbeat in his ears. Nah, I get that a lot. New York accent rubs off weird on highways. He forced a chuckle, but it came out hollow, echoing the emptiness of the house. She tilted her head, stirring her tea again, the spoon clinking like a metronome. Funny. Your voice. It's like hearing an old radio station crackle back to life. Reminds me of my brother. Her tone dipped, laced with the ache of loss. Chris. He left when I was 10. Never came back. But if he did, I'd know him anywhere. Even blindfolded. Christian's throat closed, the air thickening with unsaid truths. He stared at the forms, pen hovering, ink bleeding slightly on the page. Outside, a crow called, sharp and mocking, and the first raindrops pattered against the window panes, blurring the world beyond. He wanted to bolt, to vanish into the downpour like he had all those years ago, backpack slung over one shoulder, hitching rides east toward reinvention. But Lily's eyes held him, searching, and in that moment, the lie cracked open, spilling light into the dark corners of his exile. The afternoon wore on in fits and starts, the rain swelling into a steady drum that isolated them in the kitchen's warmth. Lily talked in bursts, about the funeral that he hadn't attended, the neighbors who brought casseroles and condolences, the way Dad's old truck still sat rusting in the barn, a relic of better days. Christian listened, murmuring agreements as Cole, his mind a whirlwind of what-ifs. What if he told her now? What if the family secret, the one that had driven him away? Dad's rage after catching him with a fumbling kiss behind the bleachers with Tommy Whitaker. The golden boy of Willow Creek High, still festered like an untreated wound? Tommy. The name alone summoned a ghost of its own, sweet and treacherous. The first love that had bloomed tentative and fierce in haylofts and summer nights by the creek. It ended in whispers and slaps, Tommy's fear winning out over fidelity, leaving Christian shattered and fleeing. You okay? Lily's voice pulled him back, her hand hovering near his on the counter, not quite touching. You zoned out there. Like you were a million miles away. Just the drive. He lied, capping the pen. Long one. Tell me more about the property. Any liens I should know about, she sighed, rubbing her temples, the flannel bunching at her elbows. Nothing major. Just memories. This place was everything. Chris used to build forts in the attic with me, telling stories about knights and dragons. He'd make voices, deep for the bad guys, silly for the sidekicks. God, I miss that. Her eyes glistened, but she blinked it away, straightening. Sorry. Not your problem. Christian's fingers itched to reach across, to squeeze her shoulder like he used to, but he folded them instead, nails digging into palms. Sounds like he was a good brother. The best. She smiled faintly, then stood to refill the kettle. Her movements efficient. A dancer's grace honed from years teaching ballet at the community center. Want some? It's herbal. Calms the nerves. Sure. He watched the steam rise as she poured, the scent of chamomile curling between them like a bridge. They sipped in silence, the rain a curtain sealing them in, and for the first time in years, Christian felt the pull of home. Not the pain, but the tether, fragile and insistent. By dusk, the forms were half-signed, placeholders for a sale that neither wanted to rush. Lily suggested dinner, nothing fancy, just pasta from the pantry and wine from the cellar that Dad had squirreled away. Christian hesitated, the alias feeling heavier with each passing hour. But hunger won out, both for food and for the illusion of normalcy. They ate at the dining table, candles flickering against the storm outside, shadows playing across her face as she recounted town gossip, the mill closing downriver, Mayor Ellis's re-election scandal, how Tommy Whitaker had married Sarah Jenkins and opened a craft brewery on Main Street. Tommy, Christian's fork paused mid-air, sauce dripping unnoticed. The name landed like a stone in still water, ripples spreading through his composure. Lily nodded, twirling spaghetti. Yeah. High school quarterback. Remember? Wait. You wouldn't. But he's back. All reformed and family man. Kids. Even. Breweries called Whitaker's Whistle cute, right? Does IPAs with local hops. Christian forced a nod, swallowing the bitterness that rose unbidden. Tommy, married. Kids. The life he might have imagined for them both. Once upon a naive summer. Sounds successful. It is. But Willow Creek's changing. Folks leaving for Burlington jobs. Rents spiking. This house. It's the last anchor. She set her glass down, wine staining her lips red. What about you? Cole? What's your story? New York must be a beast. He leaned back, the chair creaking under him, buying time. Freelance designer. Graphics. Logos. Keeps me moving. Partial truths. The safest kind. Broke up with someone last year. Messy. That's why the open road appeals. Her eyebrows lifted, sympathy softening her gaze. Ouch. Guy or girl? The question hung, casual yet loaded, and Christian's heart stuttered. In New York, labels blurred, but here, in the heartland echo of Vermont, they still cut deep. Guy, he said softly, testing the word in this space. His name was Alex. Artist type. Thought we had forever, but trust. It's fragile. Lily reached then, her hand covering his across the table, warm and sure. I'm sorry. Sounds like my ex, Jake. Truck driver. Sweet until he wasn't. Willow Creek chews up dreams sometimes. Their eyes met, and in hers, he saw the flicker, not recognition, not yet, but understanding, a bridge of shared fractures. The rain eased to a drizzle, stars pricking the sky beyond the panes, and as they cleared plates, stacking them in the sink with companionable splashes, Christian wondered if aliases could wash away like soap suds, or if voices, like hers, would always call him back. Night fell heavy on the farmhouse, the kind of dark that swallowed suburbs whole, leaving only the hum of crickets and the occasional owl's hoot. Christian claimed the guest room upstairs, the one that had been his once, now stripped to a quilt and a single lamp casting amber pools on the sloped ceiling. He lay awake, staring at the beams he had carved initials into as a kid, CHL for Christian Hale something, now faded to whispers. Sleep evaded him, chased by dreams of Alex's betrayal. The loft in Williamsburg, sketches scattered like confetti from a ruined party. Alex's phone buzzing with messages from a younger model. It's not what you think, the lie that shattered glass hearts. Christian had packed that night, sublet the space, and run west, not home, never home, until Lily's call rerouted him north. Downstairs, the floorboards groaned, and he sat up, pulse quickening. Lily, moving through insomnia's paces. He slipped on socks, padding down the hall, the chill seeping through thin walls. In the kitchen, she sat at the island again, a notebook open, pen scratching furiously. Poetry, maybe, or lesson plans. She had always been the creator, while he sketched shadows. "Can't sleep?" he asked, voice low, the drawl slipping. She startled, then relaxed, closing the notebook. Busted. You, same. He poured water from the pitcher, glass cold against his palm. Mind company? Never. She patted the stool, and he took it, the proximity electric now in the moonlight slanting through the window. Want to hear something weird? I keep dreaming of Chris. Not the leaving part, the before. Us by the creek, skipping stones. He promised he'd always protect me. Christian's grip tightened on the glass, water sloshing. He meant it, I'm sure. Lily traced a finger along the counter's grain, eyes distant. I hope so. Dad. He broke after Chris left. Blamed himself, I think. The drinking got worse. Mom tried, but it ate her up inside. She paused, voice cracking. If Chris came back, I'd forgive everything. Just to hear his voice again. The words landed like a plea, and Christian's resolve frayed, threads pulling loose. He opened his mouth, the truth rising like bile. Lily, it's me. But a phone buzzed on the counter, shattering the moment. Hers, screen lighting her face with an incoming call. Tommy. She answered, tone brightening falsely. Hey. Wit. Yeah. Paperwork's underway. Cousin from out of town helping. A laugh. Light and forced. No. Not that kind of cousin. See you tomorrow? Christian watched her hang up, the casual intimacy twisting like a knife. Tommy, calling late. The boy who had kissed him under willows, hands tentative and hungry, promising secrecy that turned to silence when Dad's shadow loomed. Now, a phone call, a brewery tour tomorrow. Life marching on, while Christian lingered in limbo. "You too close?" he asked, aiming for neutral. Lily shrugged, tucking hair behind her ear. "Friends. High school stuff. He checks in, helps with the truck sometimes." Harmless, but her cheeks flushed, and Christian saw it, the old spark, banked but not extinguished. Jealousy flared, irrational and hot, a remnant from teenage packs. He stood abruptly, chair scraping. "Night, Lily. Thanks for everything." Upstairs, he paced, the floor cold underfoot, mind racing with scenarios, telling her tomorrow, before Tommy's shadow lengthened, packing at dawn, vanishing again. Dawn broke gray, coffee brewing as Lily bustled about, packing lunches for her classes. "Join us at the brewery later? Tommy's giving a tour for locals. Could be fun networking for the sale." Christian hesitated, then nodded, the word sure tasting like surrender. The drive into town wound through mist-shrouded hills, leaves carpeting the road in fire, Willow Creek unfolding like a postcard, the general store with its sagging awning, the white-steepled church where Dad had preached fire and brimstone on Sundays, the creek gurgling under the covered bridge. The brewery sat on the outskirts, a converted mill with gleaming tanks visible through plate glass windows, the air thick with malt and hops. Tommy Whitaker greeted them at the door, broader than memory, blonde hair cropped military short, a beard framing a smile that crinkled blue eyes. "Lily, and this must be the cousin." He extended a hand, grip firm, and Christian met it, skin prickling at the touch, familiar, electric, a current from buried wires. "Cole," he said, voice steady by miracle. Tommy's brow furrowed a second, then smoothed. "Welcome. Come on. I'll show you the magic." The tour blurred. Explanations of fermentation, tastings of amber Alesh that warmed Christian's veins. Laughter from the group as Tommy joked about hoppy endings. Lily shone. Charming suppliers. But Christian's eyes tracked Tommy. The way his sleeves rolled to reveal forearms veined from lifting kegs. The easy charisma that masked the boy who had whispered, "I love you," in the dark, then denied it in daylight. As the group dispersed, Tommy clapped Christian's shoulder. "You look familiar, man. Ever been to Willow Creek before?" Heart thundering, Christian met his gaze. "Once or twice. Long time ago." Tommy's eyes narrowed, searching, and for a heartbeat, recognition flickered, then died. "Well, stick around. Town could use fresh faces." Back at the farmhouse that evening, the air hummed with unspoken tension. Lily hummed as she chopped vegetables for stew, radio playing soft indie folk, but Christian paced the porch, cigarette burning forgotten between fingers, a habit picked up in Brooklyn bars. The sun dipped low, painting the hills gold, and he heard the screen door creak. "Penny for your thoughts?" Lily leaned on the rail, stew spoon in hand. He exhaled smoke, watching it curl. "Just ghosts. This place stirs them up." She nodded, joining him, their shoulders brushing. Tell me about Alex. What broke it? The question opened the floodgates. Words tumbling. The late nights. The shared dreams of gallery shows and quiet mornings. The discovery of texts that confirmed every insecurity. He said I was too closed off. Too afraid to let him in. Maybe he was right. Lily listened, head tilted. Then, sounds like fear, not fault. Chris was like that, built walls after Dad. But love, it finds cracks. Her hand found his arm, squeezed gentle, and in the twilight hush, Christian's voice slipped, the drawl gone. Lily, she froze, eyes widening. What did you say? He turned, hazel meeting green, the mask shattering. It's me. Chris. I'm home. The silence stretched. Eternal. Her breath hitching as tears welled. Then, a whisper. Brother. He nodded, throat tight, and she launched into him, arms wrapping fierce, sobs muffled against his hoodie. You idiot. Why didn't you say? Scared, he murmured into her hair. Of this. Of you hating me for leaving. Never. She pulled back, cupping his face, thumbs tracing the cleft in his chin. You're hale. Always. They stood there as stars emerged. The stew forgotten. The world narrowing to sibling bond reforged in the porch light's glow. But dawn brought complications. Tommy's text to Lily, dinner tomorrow? Bring the cousin. And Christian knew, deep in his bones, that some ghosts demanded reckoning. The morning after the revelation dawned crisp. Frost silvering the pumpkin patch Mom had tended until her hands trembled too much to weed. Christian woke to the smell of bacon frying, a ritual unchanged, and for the first time in years, the farmhouse felt less like a tomb and more like a hearth. Lily bustled in the kitchen, humming that same Fleetwood Mac tune, her eyes puffy but bright as she slid a plate across the island. Eat. Your skin and bones, Chris. New York turning you into a vampire, he laughed. Genuine and rusty, forking into eggs that tasted of home, greasy, comforting, laced with herbed potatoes. Guilty. But call me Cole around others. Still figuring the rest. She nodded, pouring coffee black as midnight. Your secret's safe. But Tommy's dinner. You in? Neutral ground. Maybe. He always asks about you, you know. Wonder if Chris is okay out there. Christian's fork paused. Grease cooling. Tommy. The name evoked a montage. Stolen glances in homeroom. The press of bodies in the bed of Dad's truck under harvest moon. The shatter of we can't after Dad's discovery. Tommy had chosen safety, football scholarship to UVM. Then Sarah, the prom queen with her laugh like wind chimes. Christian had chosen survival, hitching to Boston first. Then New York, where anonymity was currency. What would I even say? Hi. Long time. Beers on me. Lily's grin was mischievous, an echo of their kid games. Or skip it. But Willow Creek's small secrets stick like burrs. He sipped coffee, bitter on his tongue. I'll go. For closure. Or whatever this is. The day unfolded in domestic rhythms, sorting attic boxes, laughing over report cards yellowed with age. Lily's ballet trophies glinting beside his old sketchpads filled with charcoal portraits of her, mostly fierce and free. Dust sneezed them into fits of coughing, but the work knit them closer, threads mending a tapestry frayed by time. By afternoon, they drove to the realtors in town, a squat brick office on Elm Street, where Brenda Kowalski, round-faced and efficient, spread comps on her desk. Solid bones, this place. But market's soft. Fix the roof. Stage the kitchen. You could hit 350. Lily's hand found Christian's under the table. Squeeze anchoring. We're not rushing, she said firmly. Family matters. Brenda nodded, oblivious. Understand. Sign here for listing hold. Outside, under the awning, Lily looped her arm through his. See, we're ghosts no more. But as they walked Main, past the diner with its pie-scented air and the bookstore where Christian had hidden dog-eared paperbacks of Ginsberg and Baldwin, eyes followed. Mrs. Hargrove from the church waved, squinting. Lily Hale, who's your friend? Cousin Cole? Lily called. Seamless. Christian nodded, gut twisting how long before the alias crumbled. Dinner loomed at dusk. Tommy's brewery converted for the night into a private nook. Long communal table laden with charcuterie. Candles in mason jars flickering against brick walls. Sarah arrived first. Blonde and beaming. Toddler on hip, little Emma. All curls and curiosity. Lily and Cole, right? Tommy's told us about the sale. Thrilled to meet. Handshakes exchanged. Pleasantries flowed like the Pinot Tommy poured. Local vintage. Tart with berry notes. Then Tommy entered. Sleeves rolled. Apron dusted with flour from fresh-baked pretzels. Everyone set? Dig in. Seated across from Christian. Tommy's knee brushed his under the table. Accidental. Surely, and electricity sparked. Old circuits humming. Conversation meandered. Sarah on preschool woes. Lily on class recitals. Emma babbling about big trucks. Christian contributed sparingly. Cole's drawl intact. But Tommy's eyes lingered. Probing. So, Cole, Tommy said over second glasses, what brings a city boy to Willow Creek, besides family duty? Change of scenery, Christian replied, meeting blue eyes that once drowned him. Needed air. Real stuff, Tommy chuckled, low and warm. Amen. This town's got that. Air that sticks in your lungs. His foot nudged again. Deliberate this time. And Christian shifted. Heat rising unbidden. Sarah excused herself with Emma for bedtime. Kissing Tommy's cheek. Domestic. Enviable, and the mood shifted. Wine loosening tongues. Lily regaled with tales of Chris the storyteller. Anonymized. And Tommy leaned in. Sounds like a guy I knew. Best friend. Once. Lost touch after. Well, life. Christian's pulse thrummed. Life does that. Pulls you under. Their eyes locked. The table fading. And in that gaze, Tommy saw it, the hazel depths. The faint scar from a bike crash at 14 that Christian had gotten stitching up after Tommy dared him down Dead Man's Hill. Tommy's fork clattered. Holy shit. Chris. Lily froze. Wineglass midway, but Christian held up a hand. Easy. It's complicated. Tommy's face cycled. Shock. Joy. Guilt. Complicated? Man, I thought you were gone for good. After your dad. He trailed off, glancing at Lily, who nodded permission. The story spilled then, halting at first Christian's exile, the reinvention, Alex's knife-twist betrayal that echoed Dad's rejection. Tommy listened, jaw tight. Then, I looked for you. After college. Drove to Boston. Bars you mentioned in letters. Nothing. Letters. Burned in fits of rage. Christian realized. Shame flushing him. Should have written back. Sarah returned then. Oblivious. Bundling Emma's forgotten toy. And the moment shuddered. But as they parted, Tommy's hand gripped Christian's elbow in the parking lot. Gravel crunching under boots. Stay. Talk. For real. Christian nodded. The pull inexorable. As Lily drove them home through fog-shrouded roads. Her silence heavy with questions unasked. Back at the farmhouse. The fire crackled in the hearth. Logs popping like confessions. Lily curled on the sofa. Blanket draped, eyes on Christian as he stoked flames. That was intense. You okay? He sank beside her, heat warming his shins. Yeah. No. Tommy. He's married. Lil. Kids. What the hell am I doing? She nudged his shoulder. Feeling? That's allowed. Doesn't make you the villain. Sleep came fitful. Dreams weaving Tommy's laugh with Alex's sneer. Dad's shadow looming. Morning brought a knock. Tommy, toolbox in hand. Roof leak? Let me check before the next storm. Lily vanished to teach, leaving them alone. Hammer echoing as shingles lifted. Sweat beaded on Tommy's brow. Shirt clinging, and Christian handed tools. Proximity a torture of memory. Why now? Christian asked finally, perched on the ladder. Tommy paused, nails between teeth. Because you're here. And I never stopped wondering. Sarah's great, steady. But you were fire. The admission hung. Raw. And Christian climbed down, facing him on the dew-slick grass. Fire burns out. Or did you forget? Tommy stepped close, breath mingling. I was scared. Dad's belt, town's talk. But regret, that's the real scar. Their lips met then, tentative, a brush that ignited. Hands fisting shirts. The kiss deepening with years of hunger. It broke on a gasp. Foreheads pressed. This can't, Christian whispered. I know. Tommy's voice broke. But God. Chris. They parted as Lily's car crunched the drive. The moment sealed like a letter unsent. Days blurred. Repairs with Tommy's help. Realtor meetings. Evenings where Lily's stories bridged gaps. But tension simmered. Sarah's casual invites. Tommy's lingering touches. Christian's nights haunted by what-ifs. One evening, rain lashing windows, Lily found him sketching by lamplight, Tommy's profile, fierce and flawed. Beautiful, she said softly. Dangerous. Both. He set the pad aside. I came to sell. Lil. Not unravel. She sat, taking his hand. Then we've something new. But don't run. Not again. Her words anchored him. But the heart's tide pulled toward complication, toward the man who had been first love and first wound. Autumn deepened in Willow Creek, leaves carpeting streets in russet drifts, the air crisp with wood smoke and the promise of first snow. Christian's days settled into a precarious rhythm. Mornings with Lily over coffee, plotting house updates, fresh paint in the foyer, wildflowers in the vases Mom loved, afternoons at the local library, his laptop open to freelance gigs, emails from New York clients pinging like distant thunder. But evenings belonged to Tommy, stolen in the brewery's back office or the creek's bend, where willows wept over waters that had witnessed their youth. The first real storm hit midweek, thunder rumbling like Dad's old temper, lightning fracturing the sky. Christian watched from the attic window, rain sheeting glass, when his phone buzzed. Tommy. Garage? Need to talk. He drove through downpour, wipers slapping rhythm, to the Whitaker property on the hill overlooking town. A tidy craftsman with porch swing and Emma's trike abandoned in the yard. Tommy waited in the detached garage, door half open, workbench lit by a single bulb. Couldn't sleep, he admitted, handing Christian a beer from the mini-fridge, condensation cold. Sarah's at her sister's with Emma. Storm spooked the kid. Christian twisted the cap, foam hissing. And you? Tommy leaned against the truck, flannel unbuttoned over a thermal, revealing collarbone. Christian remembered tracing with fingertips. You. This mess I'm in. The word hung, heavy as the ozone scent. Christian sipped, bitter ale grounding him. You're married, Tom. That's not mess, that's life. Tommy's laugh was wry, pained. Life I chose. Safety. After you left, panicked. Dad found your sketchbook, the one with us in it. Beat the hell out of me, called it a phase. I believed him. He raked a hand through hair, ice shadowed. Sarah was easy, sweet. But every night, I see your face in the dark. Christian's chest ached, a bruise reopening. I see it too. But Alex, he was my try it forward. Until he cheated, lied, left me hollow. Can't do that again. Tommy stepped closer, thumb brushing Christian's jaw. Then don't. This us, it's not forward. It's unfinished. Their kiss ignited slow, rain drumming accompaniment, hands mapping familiar territories with new urgency. Tommy's back hit the workbench, tools clattering, and Christian lost himself in the taste of malt and regret, bodies pressing urgent against denim barriers. It escalated, shirts shed, skin fever hot, Tommy's mouth trailing fire down Christian's neck, gasps echoing off concrete walls. God, Chris, Tommy murmured against his hip, fingers deft on belt buckles. Pleasure crested sharp, shared breaths ragged in the afterglow, but reality seeped in with the chill. They dressed in silence, zipping up more than clothes. This ends bad, Christian said finally, voice hoarse. Tommy nodded, pulling him into a hug, fierce and final. I know. But tonight, worth it. Driving home through slick roads, Christian's mind reeled, euphoria laced with dread, the high of reconnection crashing against the low of impossibility. Lily waited up, fire banked low, book in lap. Rough night. He collapsed beside her, head on her shoulder. Stupid night. She set the book aside, poetry, Rumi on love's wildness, and stroked his hair. Talk. Words poured. The kiss. The garage. The pull of old flames. Lily listened. Then, he's tethered. Chris. To her. The kid. Don't be the rope that snaps. Her wisdom, simple and sharp, lingered as sleep claimed him. Dreams turbulent with tangled limbs and breaking dawn. Days later, the realtor's open house loomed, a staged showcase of the farmhouse. Cookies baking to mask musty corners. Fresh linens on beds. Christian and Lily flitted like stagehands. Fluffing pillows, arranging mom's quilts, hiding the emotional underbelly. Tommy arrived unannounced. Helping hand, toolbox in tow, fixing a squeaky hinge on the cabinet. Sarah tagged along with Emma, who toddled through rooms, giggling at dust bunnies. The tension crackled invisible. Tommy's glance lingering too long on Christian's bent form as he vacuumed stairs, Sarah's chatter filling voids. Love the charm here. Reminds me of our first place. Lily played host, her smile a shield, but Christian caught her watching Tommy, eyes narrowed. During the tour, potential buyers milled, a young couple from Burlington, eyeing the kitchen with renovation gleam, an older widow, nostalgic for fireplaces. Christian hovered in the background, coal to all, heart pounding when Tommy cornered him in the pantry. Missed you, Tommy whispered, hand grazing waist. Stop, Christian hissed, but leaned in despite. People here. Tommy's grin flashed rogue. Risky, reckless, but the spark jumped, and Christian pulled away flushed, rejoining the group as applause rose for Brenda's pitch. Post open, exhaustion settled like fog. Over pizza on the porch, boxes greasy, cheese stretching, they debriefed. Sarah bounced Emma on knee. Think they bit. Brenda called. Offers pending, but promising. Lily hooped, hugging Christian, then Sarah, the circle warm. But as dusk fell, Tommy walked Christian to his truck. Sarah inside wrangling bedtime. Stay tonight, Tommy murmured, breath warm on ear. Guest room. For old times. Christian hesitated, Lily's warning echoing, but desire won. Okay. The guest room smelled of lavender sachets, bed firm under star-printed duvet. Emma slept down the hall, Sarah's snores soft through walls. Tommy slipped in after midnight, padding silent, sliding under covers. Couldn't stay away. They moved quiet, reverent, kisses feather light, bodies aligning with practiced ease. Tommy's hand over Christian's mouth to muffle moans. It was tender, exploratory, a reclamation of stolen years, climax whispering rather than shouting. Afterward, tangled in sheets, Tommy traced Christian's spine. What if I left her? The question detonated softly. Christian propped on elbow, studying the face that had aged into handsome lines. You won't. Emma needs you whole. Tommy's eyes glistened. And you? I need me whole first. Christian kissed his forehead, slipping away before dawn. The house still as he drove back. Rain-slick roads mirroring his turmoil. Lily confronted him over breakfast, arms crossed. You were at Tommy's. All night, he sighed, buttering toast. Guest room. Mostly, she softened, sitting. Chris, this town's a fishbowl. Sarah finds out. I know, he met her gaze. Ending it. Today. But resolve wavered when Tommy texted. Meet at the creek? Last time. The creek ran low. Autumn stripping banks bare. Water murmuring over stones like secrets. Tommy waited on the fallen log. Their old perch. Fly rod idle in lap, no fishing. Just pretense. Knew you'd come. Christian sat. Space between deliberate. To say goodbye. Properly. Tommy nodded. Reel clicking as he cast anyway. Line arcing graceful. Fair. But hear me, I love her. Steady love. You're the what could have been. The honesty stung sweet. Same. You were my first everything. Doesn't make it now. They talked then. Hours unfolding, high school pranks. College heartbreaks. Tommy's brewery dreams sparked by Dad's farm failures. Christian's New York hustles. Alex's poetry that masked manipulation. Laughter mingled with tears. The sun dipping low, painting them gold. As shadows lengthened, Tommy reeled in, empty-handed. Promise you'll stay? For Lily. For you. I will. Christian stood, pulling him up into a hug, chaste and final. Take care of them. Driving away, the creek shrinking in mirror. Christian felt lighter, wound cauterized, scar forming. But home brought crisis. A call from New York. Old client desperate for designs. Come back. Cole. Lofts waiting. Lily overheard. Eyes wide. You're leaving. Not yet. But the pull tugged. City lights calling like sirens. That night. Storm raging again. Christian paced. Phone in hand. Dialing Alex's number. Blocked. Then unblocked in weakness, voicemail beeped. It's done. But if you... Click. Delete. He texted Tommy instead. Thanks for the clarity. Friends. Reply, always. Sleep came peaceful. Dreamless. The house cradling him like forgiveness. Yet dawn brought betrayal's echo. Sarah at the door. Face pale. Printout in hand, garage security cam stills. Blurry but damning. Tommy's truck. Two shadows entwined. Sarah's knock echoed like Judgment Day. The farmhouse stirring under gray skies that threatened snow. Christian opened the door. Coffee mug steaming in grip. And her expression, pale, resolute, froze him. We need to talk. Now. Lily appeared behind. Robe belted loose. Hair tousled from sleep. Sarah? What's wrong? She thrust the printouts forward. Pixelated images trembling in her hand. The garage. Rain blurred. Two figures locked in embrace. This. Last storm. Tommy swore it was nothing, work talk, but I checked the drive. It's you, isn't it, Cole? Or whoever the hell you are. Christian's stomach plummeted. Mug slipping to shatter on the welcome mat. Shards scattering like his composure. Lily gasped, snatching a sheet. Eyes darting between blurry outlines. Oh God, Sarah's voice cracked. Tears spilling. He promised. After Emma. After everything. And you, family friend? Liar. She rounded on Christian, finger jabbing. Who are you really? Some city homewrecker. Lily's brother, he said quietly, stepping back, hands raised. Chris Hale. Back after. Long time. The revelation landed dual blows. Sarah's eyes widening in shock, Lily's face crumpling in protective fury. Sarah. Wait. No. Sarah shook her head, backing toward her SUV. Printouts clutched like talismans. You Hales and your secrets. Tommy's coming clean, or we're done. All of us. Engine roared, tires spinning gravel as she fled, taillights vanishing into mist. Silence swallowed the porch, wind whispering through maples. Lily sank to the steps, head in hands. How? The cam. Old habit. Paranoia from city life. Christian knelt, gathering shards, blood welling from a nick on thumb. I'm sorry, Lil. This is my fault. She looked up, green eyes stormy. Ours. I saw it coming. Pushed you toward him. A sob escaped. What now? He bandaged his hand in the kitchen, antiseptic stinging like truth. I face it. Talk to Tommy. You. Stay out. She nodded, fierce. But Chris, if you run, won't. He hugged her tight, her warmth a lifeline, then grabbed keys, driving to the brewery through flurries that dusted roads white. The mill stood silent, doors locked, but Tommy's truck idled in the lot, exhaust curling. He emerged as Christian parked, face ashen, jacket zipped to chin. She showed you. Yeah. Christian leaned on hood, snowflakes melting on lashes. Confronted Lily too. Tommy cursed, kicking a tire. I told her it was a mistake. One night. But the look. Christ. Chris. She's packing. Emma's crying, asking why Daddy's bad. Guilt knifed Christian, sharp and twisting. I never meant. I know. Tommy paced, breath fogging. But this town's already whispering. Church ladies at the diner, eyes on Sarah. If it leaks, you're us. The gay ghost returns. Christian's laugh was bitter. Call it what it is. Tommy stopped, facing him, blue eyes raw. I love her. But you're the part one buried. And now it's unearthed, stinking up everything. The words landed like slaps, echoing Dad's rage, Alex's dismissals. Christian straightened, chin lifting. Then bury it deeper. I'm not your regret to hoard. He turned to leave, but Tommy grabbed his arm, spin fierce. Wait. Please. For old times. Their kiss was desperate, snow veiling them, but Christian broke it, shoving back. Old times end. Go fix your life. Driving away, tears blurring flurries. Christian's phone rang, New York client. Insistent, offers doubling. Fly out tomorrow. Temptation sang, escape siren call. But Lily waited, stew simmering, eyes red-rimmed. Sarah called. They're separating. Counseling, maybe. Blames you. Deserves. He sank at table, appetite gone. Should I go? She ladled stew, steam rising. Running's easy. Staying. That's brave. Night fell heavy. Christian in the attic. Boxes unpacked. Dad's war medals. Mom's letters tied with ribbon. One addressed to him, unsent. Postmarked years ago. Son, forgiveness is a door. Open it. Tears came then, hot and heaving, purging years of exile. Dawn brought resolve. Stay. Heal. Not as ghost but man. Town buzzed subdued. Diner murmurs. Sidelong glances at the market where Christian bought apples for pie. Lily's favorite. Tommy avoided. But notes arrived. Sorry. Space. Sarah's glare from yoga class pickup scorched. But Emma waved. Innocent. Tiny hand a bomb. Weeks turned. Snow blanketing hills. Christmas lights twinkling early on Main. Christian dove into house flips. Sanding floors with Lily. Her laughter echoing as they discovered hidden comics under boards. His stash. X-Men tales of outcasts finding family. Realtor buzzed. Multiple offers. But they stalled. Not ready. One frosty eve. Fire roaring. Lily danced in. Cheeks flushed from rehearsal. Reviews tomorrow. Come, front row. He agreed. Donning wool coat. Scarf she knit. Crooked stitches. Perfect. The community center hummed. Folding chairs creaking. Locals bundled. Lily glided on stage. Tutu swirling. But Christian's eyes caught another. Elias Grant. The new music teacher. 30-something with warm brown skin. Locks tied back. Saxophone case at feet. Elias nodded from the row behind. Smile easy. Hail. Right? Lily's bro. Saw your sketches at the library bulletin. Killer work. Christian flushed. And used to praise Sans strings. Thanks. You play. Teach. Jazz mostly. Willow Creek's got soul if you listen. His voice was velvet. Low and inviting. Post-show. Applause fading. Elias cornered him at Punch Bowl. Coffee after? Diner does decent lattes. Hesitant. Christian agreed. The spark tentative. No history's weight. Just possibility. The diner glowed neon. Booths vinyl cracked. Coffee steaming as Elias unfolded. Chicago transplant. Out and proud since 18. Drawn to Vermont's quiet for writing songs. Town's progressive-ish. Church crowd grumbles. But we got a group LGBTQ potlucks. Hikes. Christian shared snippets, New York grind. Returns ache. Omitting Tommy's fallout. Elias listened. As kind. No judgment. Sounds like rebirth. Painful, but real. Their knees brushed under table. Accidental. And stayed. Warmth spreading. Midnight neared. Snow falling soft outside. Walk you home, Elias offered. The path wound past creek. Frozen now. Stars pricking velvet sky. At the farmhouse gate, Elias paused. Hand light on arm. This okay? Christian nodded. Leaning in, the kiss soft. Exploratory. Tasting of peppermint and promise. No urgency. Just connection. Elias's locks tickling cheek. Inside. Lily waited. Grin sly. Good show? Better sequel. Christian smiled. Heart lighter. But crisis brewed. Valentine's approach. Town gala at brewery Tommy's Domain. Sarah attended solo, chin high, but whispers swirled. Hail boys back. Stirring pots. Christian skipped, but Elias coaxed. Face it. With me. The brewery festooned in hearts. Hops entwined with ribbons. Crowd milling with craft beers. Tommy manned bar. Eyes flicking to Christian, arm linked with Elias. Introduction smooth. My date. Elias Grant. Tommy's jaw tightened. Pour sloshing. Nice. Congrats. Sarah nearby. Emma on hip. Offered brittle smile. Evening. Tension hummed. But Elias's hand squeezed. Grounding. They danced later. Slow sway to local band. Elias's cologne woodsy. Body fitting seamless. You're tense, he murmured. Ghosts. Christian confessed fragments. Tommy's shadow. Sarah's pain. Elias pulled back. Eyes steady. You didn't break them. Choices did. Clarity washed. And Christian relaxed. Spinning Elias under lights. Laughter bubbling free. Outside. Snow whirling. They kissed again. Deeper. Hands roaming coats. Stay, Elias whispered. Home called. But Christian texted Lily, late. She replied, go live. Elias's cabin perched on town edge. Firelit and cozy. Sacks on stand gleaming. They tumbled to rug. Undressing slow. Elias's skin warm bronze. Scars from old football days mapping stories. Lovemaking unfolded gentle. Exploratory. Elias's touch reverent. Whispers of beautiful against neck. After. Curled in quilts. Elias traced Christian's cleft chin. No rush. Just this. Morning brought pancakes. Syrup sticky. Plans for hikes. But phone buzzed, Lily. Emergency. Dad's will addendum. Lawyer's office. Now. Heart sinking. Christian dressed. Kissing Elias lingering. Call me. Count on it. The lawyer's office smelled of stale cigars. Files stacked high. Mr. Hargrove. Church lady's husband. Slid envelope across desk. Your father's codicil. Hidden clause. House stays in family unless all heirs reconcile publicly. Lily paled. Publicly. Church testimony. Forgiveness sermon. Or it sells at auction. Proceeds to charity. Dad's ghost. Vengeful to the end. Bible thumper's last stand against the son he deemed sinner. Christian's fists clenched. He knew. About me. Hargrove nodded grim. Guilt? Maybe. Or control. Outside. Snow crunching. Lily wept. I can't. The town. We will. Christian hugged her. For Mom. For us. But resolve cracked under weight. Testify. Out the past. Risk Elias's fragile bloom. That night. Alone. Christian called Elias. Voice breaking. It's complicated. Dad's will. Complicated's my middle name. Elias's laugh warmed. Tell me. Story spilled. Exile. Tommy. Now this. Elias listened. Then, come over. We'll plot. Cuddled by fire. Elias's arms strong. Christian breathed easier. Why you? Why now? Because healing's not solo. Elias kissed temple. And you're worth it. Snow fell thicker, blanketing sins. As they planned, face the church, claim the home, rewrite the narrative. Yet betrayal loomed. Tommy's text, saw you with him. Happy, or just rebound? Delete. Block. Forward. Winter gripped Willow Creek in iron fists. Drifts piling high against farmhouse windows. The world muffled to a hush broken only by plow blades scraping dawn streets. Christian and Elias fell into sync. A duet tentative yet harmonious. Mornings sketching by Elias's cabin stove. Coffee brewing as sax riffs warmed the chill. Afternoons tramping snowshoes through pines. Laughter echoing off trunks heavy with ice. Elias's presence was balm. Steady, without the barbs of history. His touch a language of patience. Fingers interlacing during movie nights on sagging couch. Bodies curling under Afghans knit by his Chicago aunt. But the will's shadow lengthened. Hargrove's ultimatum a sword over necks. Lily paced kitchen nightly. Flannel sleeves rolled. Herbal tea steaming untouched. Church? Dad's old flock misses. Hargrove leads prayer circles. Eyes like hawks. They'll devour us. Christian nodded. Chopping onions for chili. Knife rhythmic. Not if we own it. Testimony as power. Not plea. She paused. Spoon midst her. You? Out loud? About everything. For the house. For you. He set blade down. Wiping hands. Elias says truth's a bridge. Lily's eyes softened. Onions bringing tears. Who's this Elias? Anyway, saw you two at the market glowing. He smiled. Faint. Music teacher. Real. Thinks my sketches could sell at the co-op. Bring him Sunday. Strength. The church loomed white and steepled on the hill. Bells tolling like summons. Sunday dawned brittle clear. Sky azure over fields blanketed pristine. Christian dressed careful. Button down crisp. Slacks pressed. Elias's borrowed scarf woolsoft around neck. Elias drove. His old Subaru crunching snow. Locks crowned with a beanie. Hand on gearshift brushing Christian's knee. Nervous, like facing dragons, Christian exhaled fog. But you're my armor, Elias grinned, parking beside Lily's Civic. And sax for soundtrack. Inside, pews groaned under bundled bodies. Hymns rising musty sweet. Mrs. Hargrove presided. Silver hair coiled tight. Sermon on prodigal sons laced with veiled thorns. Lily sat rigid. Christian's hand in hers clammy. Elias's warmth at his back a shield. Post-service. Hargrove cornered them in vestibule. Bible clutched. Testimonies next week. Full disclosure. Or no inheritance. Christian met her gaze. Voice steady. We'll be there. All of it. Whispers rippled as they filed out. Hail boy! That city fella? But Elias's arm around shoulders silenced. Claim quiet but firm. Lunch at diner followed. Comfort food. Turkey clubs. Fries crisp. Lily thawed. Quizzing Elias on jazz legends. His stories of smoky Chicago clubs drawing laughs. Coltrane's A Love Supreme changed me. Like family, messy and divine. Christian watched. Heart swelling, this ease. Unforced. But phone vibrated, Tommy. Unblocked in weakness. Meet, need to explain. Delete. But curiosity gnawed. Afternoon brought snow play, Elias building forts with neighborhood kids. Snowball fight erupting. Christian pelted until retaliating. Cheeks rosy. Lily joined, shrieking as Elias lifted her for toss. The 3 plus strays a makeshift tribe. Evening wound cozy. Firelit. Hot cocoa spiked with rum. Elias's sax improvising blues that curled smoke-like. Lily danced solo. Spins graceful. Then bowed out. Bed. Big week. Alone. Elias set horn aside, pulling Christian close. Proud of you. Facing fire. Their lovemaking unfolded slow. Fireglow painting skin amber, Elias's mouth worshipful on chest. Hips rocking deliberate, breaths sinking like melody. Stay, Elias whispered post-climax, fingers tracing spine. Always, Christian teased, but vulnerability edged. Let's find out. Kiss sealed. Tentative vow. Monday shattered idol. Call from New York. Ex-client turned friend. Alex in town. Asking around. Careful. Chill unrelated to snow. Alex, the betrayal incarnate. Poet's charm masking predator. Christian hadn't told Elias full, just outlines. Now, panic flickered. He drove to school. Elias's classroom abuzz with recorders shrilling. Postbell. Elias leaned on desk. Lock swaying. Your face. Storm clouds. Confession tumbled. Alex's details, the loft trysts. Gallery dreams. Discovery of hotel receipts. Alex's gaslight, you're paranoid. Babe. The flight west. Reinvention. Elias listened. Jaw tight. Bastard. But that's his weight. Not yours. Relief flooded. And Christian kissed him fierce. Desk edge biting hip. Thank you, team. Elias grinned. Now. Potluck Friday. Our group's doing queer history night. Excitement bubbled, acceptance. Communal. But Tommy's shadow persisted. Notes slipped under diner booth next day. During solo sketch session. Can't stop thinking. Sarah's filing. Free. Heart raced. Temptations whisper. Christian crumpled it. But pocketed. Poison pill. Potluck hummed in community hall basement. Rainbow banners. Tables groaning pot stickers. Mac and cheese. Vegan curries. 10 souls. Diverse farmers. Teachers. A nurse with buzz cut and tattoos. Elias introduced Christian Hale. Artist extraordinaire. Stories circled. Coming outs at Thanksgiving dinners. Road trips to Pride in Boston. Christian shared fragments. Teen exile. Recent return. Met with nods. Hugs. Willow Creek's got heart, said Ray. Burly mechanic. Beats hiding. Elias's hand under table anchored. Pride swelling. But door banged open, Tommy. Snow dusted. Eyes wild. Chris. Outside. Please. Gasps rippled. Elias stiffening. Christian rose. Gut churning. 1 minute. Alley dark. Flurries swirling. Tommy paced. Breath ragged. Papers served. She's taking Emma to her mom's in Burlington. Blames you us. Guilt crashed. I told you. I know. But I can't lose her. Fix this. Talk to her. Fix. Christian's voice rose. You're the one who kissed back. Tommy grabbed lapels. Desperate. Because I loved you. Still do. Help me keep my family. Rage boiled. Old wounds festering. Your family. Not mine to mend. Shove freed him. Christian storming in. Door slamming. Group hushed. Elias rising. You good? No. Tears pricked. But done. He spilled to the circle Tommy's plea. The pull push. Hugs enveloped. Raise bare grip. Boundaries. Kid. Learn 'em. Elias drove home silent. Then, why'd you go out? Closure. Christian winced. Stupid. Elias parked. Engine ticking. Trust me with it. All. Inside. By fire. Full tail emerged. Garage. Creak. Will's pressure. Elias absorbed. Then, you're not rebound. You're you. But Tommy's chaos don't drown. Kiss followed. Forgiving. Bodies melding urgent. Elias pinning wrists playful. Rhythm building to crescendo. Release cathartic. Dawn brought decision. Testify Tuesday. Rehearse with Lily. Elias scripting notes. Forgive Dad. Not for him, for us. Church filled. Pews creaking under coats. Mrs. Hargrove nodded stern. Hails. Begin. Lily first. Voice quaver. Dad was stern, but loved fierce. Mom too. Leaving hurt, but returning heals. Christian stood. Pulse thunder. I left at 17. Scared. Dad found out I loved a boy. Called it sin. I ran to survive. Gasps murmured. But he pressed. Exile broke me. Betrayals followed in cities, in hearts. But here, family Lily calls me back. Forgiveness for Dad's fear. Mine too. We're all prodigals. Silence. Then applause, scattered. Then swelling. Hargrove teared. Beautiful. House is yours. Outside. Snow falling fat flakes. Townsfolk approached. Welcome home. Chris. Elias hugged tight. Hero. But Tommy waited by truck. Sarah absent. Heard. Brave. Christian nodded cool. Move on. Tommy's eyes dimmed. Yeah. For Emma. Parting clean. Finally. Winter waned. Sap rising in maples. Christian's art bloomed. Sketches sold at co-op. Elias framing one. Creek willows. Lovers faint in background. Love deepened. Shared hikes. Sax duets with Christian's guitar borrowed from library. Yet crisis crested. Alex in town. Confirmed. Spotted at motel. Charming locals for inspiration. Call came. Burner number. Voice silk. Chris. Miss you. Let's talk. Block. But fear gnawed, what lies would he spin? Spring teased Willow Creek with false thaws. Mud sucking at tires. Crocuses poking defiant through snowmelt. Christian's life rooted deeper. Mornings with Elias. Breakfasts of oats and berries. Plans sketched for garden beds behind the farmhouse. Tomatoes for Lily's salsa. Herbs for Elias's teas. Afternoons. He taught art at the center. Kids' fingers sticky with pastels. Their Uncle Chris chatter a chorus of belonging. Lily thrived. Choreography blooming into regional gigs. Her hugs lingering. Proud. Big bro. But Alex's specter haunted. A smudge on horizon. Rumors trickled. Poet at open mic. Reciting verses laced with lost loves. Eyes scanning crowds for familiar faces. Christian avoided town haunts. But Elias noticed the flinch at mentions. He's gone, Elias soothed one night. Cabin fire crackling. Feet tangled on ottoman. You're here. Logically, Christian traced Elias's palm. Lines mapping futures. But trauma's sticky. Elias kissed knuckles. Then we peel it slow. Their intimacy evolved, less urgency. More ritual. Baths drawn steaming. Bodies soapy. Laughter at splashes. Midnight drives. Windows down to spring peepers. Hands linked over console. Elias composed a piece. Hale's Return. Sax weaving melancholy to hope. Premiering at town hall concert. Christian front row. Tears blurring notes. Lily's review sold out. Christian and Elias backstage with flowers. Daisies for her grace. Post-curtain. Champagne flowed in green room. Locals toasting. Tommy appeared distant. Sarah cordial at arm's length. Emma shyly offering drawing. Stick figures holding hands. For Uncle Chris. Throat tight. Christian knelt. Perfect. Thanks. Kiddo. Tommy's nod was subdued. Counseling works. Slow. Good. No more needed. But Alex escalated. Letter delivered to farmhouse. Envelope cream. Script elegant. Christian burned it unopened in sink. Flames licking words unseen. But ash whispered doubts. Elias found him staring at Char. Let me in. Full breach. Alex's manipulations. Stolen sketches sold as his. Debts racked in joint name. The final gut punch of I need space masking affair. He made me small. Elias's arms enveloped. Fierce. You're vast. Artist. Brother. Mine. Validation healed cracks. And that night, lovemaking was affirmation. Elias's body a canvas. Christian's mouth painting praises. Union slow and sacred. Afterglow whispers of forever. Summer bloomed riotous. House no longer for sale. Renovations complete. Solar panels glinting. Garden bursting. Christian's exhibit at Co-op drew Burlington crowd. Sales funding trip. Portland? Queer Film Fest. Elias beamed. Yes, but before. Crisis detonated. Alex at door. Unannounced. Rain-soaked. Charm cracked by desperation. Chris. Hear me out. Lily barred way. Voice steel. Leave. He pushed past. Eyes on Christian. Poetry reading. Saw your name. Came to apologize. Lies dripped. I changed. Therapy. Want you back. Elias arrived then. Groceries in arms. Face thunder. Out. Alex sneered. Who's this? Rebound brown boy. Rage ignited. Christian shoved him porchward. My love. Your past. Struggle brief. Alex swinging wild. Elias dropping bags to grapple. Lily dialing sheriff. Alex fled cursing. Taillights vanishing. Aftermath shook. Bruises checked. Statements given. Elias iced split lip. Joking hero points. But Christian paced. Adrenaline crashing to abyss. He'll smear me. Town's ears. Lily hugged. We testify. Again. Sheriff's report filed. But whispers spread. Trouble follows hail. Church ladies clucked. Sales dipped. Elias pulled strings. Group meeting. Stories shared. Support solidified. You're safe. Healing wove tentative. Therapy with town counselor. Sessions unpacking dad's rejection. Alex's gaslight. Elias attended one. Handheld. Partners. Summer solstice brought release. Bonfire at creek. Group gathered. Esmore's sticky. Christian read poem. His first verses of exile to embrace. Voice steady. Applause roared. Elias kissing temple. Star. Trip to Portland shimmered. Flights bumpy. Fest electric. Films of queer joy. Panels on resilience. Hotel nights passionate. City lights backdrop to bodies entwined. Elias's sax busking street corners for tips. Laughter free. Return grounded. Harvest fair. Lily's booth selling choreo DVDs. Christian's prints flying. Tommy approached neutral. Emma wants playdate. Arranged park. Supervised. Emma's giggles as Christian pushed swings. Tommy watching wistful. You're good with her. Families overlap. Olive branch extended. Fall-colored leaves fire anew. House party marking 1 year. Lantern strung porch. Potluck overflowing. Elias grilling veggies. Guests mingled. Ray and husband. Hargroves thawed. Alex faded to footnote. New job in Boston per gossip. But internal storm brewed. Elias's offer. Move in? Cabin or farm? Choice loomed. Merge lives. Or preserve spaces. Christian confided Lily. Scared. Of losing self. She smiled. Love expands. Try. Dinner candlelit. Elias nervous. No pressure. Just us. Yes. Kiss sealed. Boxes packed slow. Winter's Eve. First snow. They christened shared bed, farmhouse guest room. Quilts piled. Bodies familiar yet renewed. Elias's whispers home against skin. Yet climax crested. Fire at brewery. Alarms shrieking midnight. Christian woke to Lily's yell. Tommy! Chaos. Flames licking roof. Volunteers hosing. Sarah wailing. Emma clutched. Tommy emerged soot-black. Coughing. Christian rushing forward. You okay? Nod weak. Kegs exploded. Faulty wiring. Elias helped bucket brigade. Muscles straining. Dawn quelled blaze. Mill half-gutted. After. At farmhouse. Bandages and broth. Tommy confessed. Insurance lapse. Ruin. Christian. Elias. Lily pooled. Fundraiser concert. Art auction. Town rallied church bake sale. Co-op donations. Event packed hall. Elias's sax wailing blues. Christian emceeing sketches live. Funds poured. Tommy tearful. Thank you. Sarah hugged Christian. Family. Healing peaked. But personal crisis. Elias's ex from Chicago visiting. Closure talk. Jealousy flickered. Old fears. What if? Elias soothed. Past. You're now. Meeting civil. X's stories confirming growth. Relief. Trust deepened. Spring again. Garden thriving. Christian proposed. Ring simple. Silver with hazel stone. Marry me. Elias yes. Tears joy. But shadow dad's grave. Unvisited. Lily urged. Go. Cemetery quiet. Stones mossed. Christian knelt. Weeds parting. Forgive you. Me too. Peace settled. Full circle. Summer's heat wave baked Willow Creek. Air thick with humidity that curled hair and wilted resolve. The creek reduced to a lazy trickle murmuring over polished stones. Christian and Elias's engagement rippled through town like a gentle current. Announcements in the Gazette. Hale Grant nuptials planned for fall, accompanied by a photo of them at the fair. Arms linked. Smiles sun-kissed and genuine. Lily orchestrated with glee. Sketchpads filled with reception sketches. Harvest moon backdrops. Fairy lights in the barn. Rustic chic, she declared over iced tea on the porch. Fans whirring lazy. You too deserve magic. Elias nodded. Locks tied with leather cord. Fingers laced with Christians. As long as there's cake. And sax solos. Laughter flowed easy. But beneath. Currents stirred. Wedding jitters manifesting as nightmares for Christian. Dreams of altars crumbling. Alex's face morphing into Dad's disapproving scowl. Elias woke him gentle. Arms encircling. Here. Solid. Therapy continued. Sessions delving deeper. Vows scare because promises broke before. Counselor noted. Glasses perched. Christian nodded. Journaling post-session. Pages of fears inked out. Affirmations blooming beside. Town embraced. Mrs. Hargrove knitting Afghans. Ray offering barn for ceremony. Tommy contributed kegs. Non-alcoholic. Nod to recovery, Sarah cooing over invites. Emma drew rings. Crayons waxy. Pretty for uncles. One sweltering afternoon. Rehearsal at the creek. Vows practiced on the log. Wildflowers in Lily's hair. Elias's words flowed poetic. You walked in as stranger. Stayed as home. Christians choked. Your music mends what words can't. Kiss sealed. Group cheering. But Christian's phone buzzed. Unknown number. Voicemail. Alex's voice. Slurred. Heard you're shackling yourself. Mistake. Call. Delete. Block. But venom lingered, poisoning the afterglow picnic of sandwiches and lemonade. Elias noticed pallor. Spill. Confessed. Voice small. He's poison ivy. Creeps back. Elias's jaw set. We burn it. Together. Plan hatched. Protective order. Sheriff notified. Alex's response. Radio silence. But peace fragile. Fall painted hills gold and crimson. Wedding eve crisp. Air scented pine and cider. Rehearsal dinner at farmhouse. Tables groaning under roasts. Pies. Toasts flowing. Lily's speech. Chris left a boy. Returned a man. Elias. You make him shine. Tears. Hugs. Tommy pulled Christian aside. Porch shadowed. Happy for you. Really. Sarah and I. Trying again. Therapy. Relief mutual. Good. Emma's flower girl. Wouldn't miss. Night solo tradition, Christian in cabin. Elias at Lily's. Journal open. Pen scratching gratitude. Family. Love. Home. Dawn broke golden. Wedding day flawless. Barn transformed. Hay bales seats. Lanterns swaying. Isle of petals. Guests filled. 50 souls. Rainbow pins glinting. Lily walked Elias. Arm looped. Her gown flowing. Christian at altar. Suit tailored. Heart thunder. Vows exchanged. Rings sliding cool. Kiss erupting cheers. Reception danced wild. Elias's band swinging. Feet stomping dirt floor. Cake cut. Frosting smeared in laughter. First dance slow. A love supreme. Sacks his own body's swing. World fading. Honeymoon hinted. Cabin getaway. But crisis intruded post-vows. Sheriff at gate. Alex in custody. Stalking charge. Your statement. Elias squeezed hand. Go. I'll hold fort. Station stark. Fluorescence buzzing. Statement given. Details dredged. Letters. Calls. The door confrontation. Alex. Cuffed opposite. Eyes hollow. You win. Always did. Pity flickered. No winners. Just peace. Released. Christian returned to barn. Elias waiting. Dance floor cleared for waltz. Handled. Done. Kiss fierce. Forever now. But deeper conflict brewed. New York Gallery offer solo show. Exiles echo. Lucrative. Go. Elias urged. Your dream. Torn. Ours here. Compromise. Exhibit remote. Travel brief. But doubt gnawed. What if city pulls? Elias. Roots hold. Winter's grip return gentle. First anniversary snow globed. Christian's show succeeded. Reviews raving. Hails hazel eyes sea souls. Return celebrated. Dinner at diner. Pie for all. Lily announced. Baby? Adoption papers. Joy exploded. Auntie dreams. Nursery sketches. Elias. Uncle duties. Spring birth new. Baby hail grant. Foster to adopt. Tiny fists waving. Naming. River. For the creek that witnessed all. Baptism at church, Hargrove beaming. Waters symbolic. Vows renewed family-wide. Yet betrayal's final lash. Tommy's relapse. Whiskey bottle found. Sarah leaving temporary. Help. Plea text. Christian visited. Sober circle. One day. We got you. Recovery group formed. Town healing collective. Summer fair. River in carrier. Christian sketched portraits, Elias blowing bubbles. Lily dancing. Alex's trial distant, probation. Relocation. Fall harvest. Barn dance annual. Christian proposed sequel. Book. Our story. Elias. With illustrations. Lily. I'll choreo the launch. Circle complete. But growth endless, therapy for parents. Elias's album release. Winter solstice bonfire. Stars sharp. Christian leaned on Elias. Stranger no more. Home. Echoed. Crisis resolved. Love's arc bending gentle. Years folded like well-worn pages in Willow Creek. Seasons cycling in their quiet majesty. Springs of tentative green shoots pushing through thawed earth. Summers thick with firefly-lit nights and the hum of cicadas orchestrating barbecues on the farmhouse lawn. Falls ablaze with bonfires where stories crackled hotter than the flames. Winters blanketing the world in hush, forcing inward turns toward hearths and heartfelt confessions. Christian Hale, husband, artist, uncle, had woven himself into the town's tapestry, his sketches now hanging in Burlington galleries and the local co-op, each stroke a testament to scars transmuted into beauty. Elias Grant Hale, his anchor, composed albums that spun on vinyl in cafes from Portland to Providence. The saxophones wail a bridge between solitude and symphony. Lily, ever the linchpin, had married a Burlington dancer named Theo, their home a stone's throw away, filled with the patter of twins' feet and the echo of laughter that spilled over fences like shared secrets. River, their adopted son, turned 5 under a sky streaked with meteor trails. His hazel eyes, Christian's eyes, wide with wonder as they camped by the creek. The same waters that had borne witness to first kisses and final farewells. Tell the story again, Papa, River demanded, marshmallow sticky fingers tugging Elias's sleeve. The one where you met and the stars fell. Elias chuckled, poking the fire, sparks ascending like prayers. Stars always fall, kiddo. But ours? They stuck around. His gaze met Christian's across the flames. A lifetime compressed into that look. From guarded strangers to this, a family forged in fire's forge. The prodigal's return had rippled outward, healing not just personal but communal. Tommy Whitaker's brewery rebuilt stronger, solar-powered and community-owned. His sobriety a quiet victory celebrated with annual toasts at the fair. Sarah, resilient, had opened a daycare, her smile softer now, edges planed by time and therapy. Emma, 10 and fierce, took art lessons from Christian, her drawings bold with color, unapologetic. Like you, Uncle Chris, she'd say, crayon in fist. Seeing the hidden, the church, once a bastion of judgment, evolved under younger voices, rainbow flags fluttering beside steeples, sermons on grace that quoted Baldwin alongside Leviticus. Mrs. Hargrove, silver-haired sentinel, confessed one Easter over coffee. Your words that day, Christopher, they cracked me open. Feared the sin, but forgot the love. Humanity's arc, Christian mused often, was no straight line but a meander, like the creek carving canyons through stone, patient and persistent. His book, Voices in the Willow, published to acclaim, prose interspersed with illustrations, a memoir of exile and embrace, had found shelves in libraries nationwide. Readers writing, your voice recognized mine, lost in my own home, yet no life lacked shadows. Elias's ex had resurfaced once, a letter of congratulations laced with nostalgia, but Elias shared it openly, burning it together in the garden. Ash to fertilizer, Christian's New York ghosts whispered occasionally. Gallery invites tempting with urban pulse, but he traveled light now, returning to River's bedtime stories and Lily's impromptu dance parties. The pull of roots stronger than any skyline. The true test came in autumn's cusp, leaves half shed, when Dad's old truck, restored by Tommy as penance gift, rattled to life in the barn. Christian took it for spins, winding roads that hugged hills, radio tuned to Elias's latest track. One dusk drive, fog rolling thick, He veered toward the cemetery. Unplanned. The iron gates creaking welcome. Kneeling at the stone, hail. Etched simple. Dates bracketing a life of contradictions. Christian traced letters. Moss soft under fingers. Missed you. In ways. Hated you. More. But understanding. That's the grace. Ha! Wind stirred, carrying distant laughter from town, and he rose lighter, locking the gate behind. Homeward, the truck's headlights cut mist, illuminating deer eyes glowing roadside symbols, perhaps, of grace startled but surviving. Elias waited on the porch, River asleep inside, Lily's twins tucked after dinner chaos. Good drive. Healing one. Christian pulled him close, kiss tasting of forgiveness and frost. Ours. That winter. The big snow came howling, drifts sealing roads for days. The farmhouse a cocoon of board games and stews simmering slow. River built forts from cushions, declaring them castles against the storm, while Elias improvised jazz on piano keys sticky with cocoa. Lily and Theo trudged over snowshoes, twins bundled like Yeti, sleds whipping downhill shrieks of delight. Trapped thus, stories surfaced deeper, Elias confessing boyhood Chicago winters, hiding crushes in comic pages, Lily admitting fears of motherhood mirroring mom's quiet sufferings, Christian voicing the abyss after Alex, the void before Elias's light. Tears fell with snow, but so did resolve, vows renewed impromptu, hands clasped over candlelight. Through storms, we stand. Spring's thaw brought renewal. Garden expanded, river planting beans with grubby hands. Grow big like Papa's heart. Christian's second book brewed. Fiction this time. Queer tales set in Vermont valleys. Characters navigating betrayals toward belonging. Elias scored the audiobook. Voice rich as bourbon. Summer fair crescendo traditions. Christian's booth thronged. Prince of River's grin selling swift. Elias jamming stage. Crowd swaying. Lily's dance troupe whirling under sun. Tommy toasted from keg. To Hale's anchors. Emma, now teen tall, confided later. Dad says you saved him. By showing it's okay to fall. Christian hugged her awkward. We all save each other. Fall wedding for Lily's friend echoed their own. Vows exchanged under willows. Christian officiating. Words woven from experience. Love isn't absence of storm, but dancing in rain. Winter solstice bonfire gathered kin, raised tales of road trips. Hargrove's hymns harmonized queer. River. 7 now. Recited poem learned. Voices call us home. Through dark and dawn. Christian watched flames. Elias's head on shoulder. Lily's hand in his across circle. The stranger he had been, wary, wounded, faded to fond memory, replaced by this man, whole. Yet humanity's depth lay in imperfection. Elias's tour offer, national, months-long tempted adventure. Go, Christian urged. I'll hold fort with River, separation tested, calls nightly his lifeline. But growth bloomed, Christian solo parenting. Sketches pouring. Book deadline met. Elias returned sun-bronzed. Sacks case scarred from subways. Embrace fierce. Missed your chaos. Spring birth third. Community center expansion. LGBTQ wing named Hail Haven. Funded by book proceeds. Opening ribbon cut with river scissors. Tiny snip symbolizing Summer's heat peaked crisis minor. Truck breakdown. Stranding Christian mid-errand. Tommy Toad. Grinning. Payback. Fall harvest. Barn dance swelled. Theo's band. Lily choreographing. Elias soloing. River danced wild. Feet flying. Winter's Eve. Snow globe perfect. Family gathered. Twins toddling. Emma braiding River's hair. Sarah toasting eggnog. Christian raised glass. To voices recognized. In homes, hearts, horizons, echoed cheers. Love's chorus. Life's narrative. Dramatic in arcs yet mundane in moments, grocery runs. Scraped knees. Quiet coffees affirmed the human core. We are all strangers once. Until a voice, a hand, a gaze says, I see you. Stay. And so they did. In Willow Creek's embrace. Weaving onward. Threads of regret rewoven into tapestries of grace.